Hi viewers, hope you are having a great time. You're once more welcome to your favorite show, Shantia's Haven. Thank you so much for the likes, for subscribing and for the comments. And today on Shantia's Haven, we are going to be talking about a very important but almost neglected topic in the family. We are talking about teaching our children some aspects of first aid. First aid not only in the medical aspect of it, but first aid as in general. We have a wonderful guest with us who is fit for this topic and she has some experience. It's a mother. We have with us on Shantia's Haven today, Mrs. Maureen Ara. Hello Maureen.
Hello Shantia.
You're welcome to Shantia's Haven.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
The pleasure is mine.
You know, today in the world, today in families, I realize that there are aspects of first aid that our children miss out on. Just because our parents or we parents don't pay keen attention to teaching the children these things. Example, we have aspects like a child having a wound in the house when the parent is not around. Sometimes they stay on like that with that wound until the parent comes. I saw a child once with a wound, and what I saw was a sellotape around that wound. Sellotape that doesn't breathe. It just blocked the wound and the child was waiting for the parent. So this thing, it just clicked in my mind that it should be something that we should talk about on Shantia's Haven. And I know with your kids, you're doing a lot of efforts to bring them up in that aspect. So I know you will have a rich content for us today. So what do you have to say concerning this first aid? What are some of these aspects we parents should pay attention to?
Thank you. I would like to say that topic is a very sensitive topic and a very important one that I think us parents will have to pay special attention to. For example, a child hurting him or herself, we need to teach them that when a child hurts herself or himself, the first thing that a child is supposed to do is to press on the wound to stop the bleeding. Then wash it with water. And washing it with water and pressing on will stop the flow. Imagine that the parent is not home and the child hurts himself and keeps on bleeding and they don't know what to do. You come back with a serious problem. So at least they need to know that basic first aid rule of how to stop the bleeding.
Okay, I guess this aspect has to do with, it depends on the family you come from, because I think this part, especially this aspect of wound, is different with different homes. Because there are some homes where they would say, okay, let air pass there so that the blood clots. Some other places will say you should apply betadine there. Some other homes they will say you should heat up some elephant stock grass kind of thing and press the water there. So I think it depends. But the bottom line is parents, teach your children what to do in case they hurt themselves. What works for your family, what works for your home. But make sure you teach them and be intentional about it. Then now, there's also this aspect of visitors coming to the house. What can we do as parents? Because some parents don't say anything, and when the visitors come and goes back, you see the parent shouting at the child, you disgraced me, you embarrassed me, and sometimes it feels like it's not really the fault of that child. Maybe we're not intentional about talking to this child about what to do. What do you think can be done in that situation if a visitor comes to the house?
You are right. I think most often at times we do shout at our children, meanwhile the fault really is us. We have to have talks with our children on how they are supposed to behave when visitors come into the house. How they are supposed to greet the visitors when they come in, where they should go and sit while the visitors are in the house. Just as you say, it depends on various families. Do you tell the child to go far into the room if the room is too far, or the child should be around the kitchen, or the child can come to you and ask something in your ear? How can I help? What should I do? Those things we need to discuss them with our children.
I feel that aspect too goes with the age of the children. But there are some children, just let them in. They are children. Let them be children. Because I think if I go to a home and I find a 2-year-old who comes and greets, "Auntie, you're welcome," and goes and sits so composed and is quiet and is not saying anything, I would say, come on, be a child.
You're right.
Be a child.
You're
Yes,
right.
but there are some children who can be like that. But generally, I don't see it that way.
It's not
So parents, don't come and kill your children because they don't live up to your own standards. They are children. And maybe let them be children also, but teach them at least. Let them know that this is what is expected of me, so that if you are trying to correct them in the future, you know you're correcting them for what you had taught them before. Now, in this aspect where fire breaks out in the house, because I have heard of situations, fire here, fire there, and maybe the parents are not there, they are all at work, and their children are all alone at home with no serial. Maybe an adult is not there to really save the children, or maybe there is still an adult and you've not taught them what to do. What can be done if fire breaks out in the house? What do you advise that they do?
I think we should talk about it with our children.
Okay.
We should make them know that in case of such an incident, there are some important things that they can get to.
Okay.
Always documents, I will say documents, that they can rush out with. Then make them to understand that if the fire is in a manner that they cannot get those things, they should rush out of the house and call for help.
Okay.
And we should also talk with them where they can get help and how they can get help.
Where and how they can get help.
Yes.
We talked of rushing to documents. That means they should know where documents are kept in the house.
Yes.
And it means the document should be in one place. That will also take us to another aspect of first aid, that you don't give these documents to any kind of person. Because on Shantia's Haven, it said that they give documents to children. They should show documents where the documents are kept to children. And imagine that somebody watched it and said, oh, that's good, let me go and try my luck in that home. And they come and say, oh, mommy said I should come and get her documents, and the children just take and give. That takes us to another. You don't just take things and give without verifying, or without your parents actually visaing it, and you see them visa it. When it even comes to documents, I think the parents should take it and give themselves, not the children. So that takes us, that at least that was an aside to it to help us here. There is another aspect. If a woman is with a child or a man, especially when you see accidents happen on the road, people gather around for different reasons. Some gather to help the situation, others gather to steal valuables, others gather to just watch or take videos and send on social media. In case that kind of thing happens and the father and mother, or the adult or the parents are unconscious, the children are conscious, what do you think a parent can advise? Obviously, we don't wish that for any parent. But what if it happens that maybe you even collapse, or you have an accident and you're unconscious and it's just your children who are there? What do you advise that they tell these children to do? What can the children do?
I advise that the first thing we should do is to tell them to collect our valuables. For example, if the child was with a mother, take your mother's handbag or your father's purse,
Okay.
and keep them before seeking for help. And make sure you don't give it to a stranger.
Okay.
As you are seeking for help, keep your mother's valuables, the handbag, the phones with you.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that because those valuables will also help in the future, because people come there for different
That
reasons.
is it. They come to steal, just as you said, some
Yeah.
to watch, some to steal. But meanwhile, some are actually there to help out.
Okay. So after doing that, then they can rush out, run for help.
Yes.
That means our children need to be brave. We need to teach them bravery, because my father is down and I'll be panicking and shouting, and at that same moment I have to think that I must gather this thing and hold. Mommy had told me, daddy told me, take valuables first. Then I rush out and I seek for help. Lord, help us to have these brave children to do this kind of
That
things.
is it.
Yeah,
They should not panic. We have to teach them not to panic in such situations.
Okay. I think this first aid is very important to our children, because it will help us, it will help the parents, so that tomorrow you don't fall a victim. Tomorrow you can look at the children and they can handle some situations and you will be marveled, you'll be surprised at the kind of things they will do just because you taught them these little lessons. How do we teach them? When should we teach? Because parents are busy. The financial load is heavy, so we go to work, we do things. So when do you think we can really teach our children, or how?
You're right. Parents are busy, they workload, but we must always find time for our children. We must always find time to talk about such things with our children, given that we are handling a sensitive topic concerning first aid. I believe even stealing a 30 minutes in the morning with the child, with your children, or with a child, or in the evening, it will help a lot.
Okay.
And I would not like us to forget even about the aspect of electricity. They can be, a child can be electrocuted. We need to teach the children what to do in such a situation, to how to put up the metal, or they should, if another one is electrocuted, they should not go close to that one without wearing shoes. Using a stick might be, just as you said, we have different ways of how to telling the children how to handle the various situations.
Wow, wow. A parent is not just about giving birth to children or adopting these children. You have to be an engineer, you have to be a doctor, you're wearing all these caps as a parent. This is huge, but it is doable. So thank you so much, Maureen, for this rich information you've given us. What is just your last word you want to give to these parents out there about this first aid on your children?
My last words I have for parents is that let us find time to always talk with our kids. Let us also listen to them, and let us also teach them by example. Let us struggle. Thank you.
Teach the children by example. Teach the children by example. If I'm teaching them by example, I guess even if it has not happened, we can act some of these scenes in the house. Oh, let's imagine that, okay, this evening this has happened to me, and the parent just falls. Oh, I'm unconscious, and my bag is with me, so others come around and they see the child do this. They are acting it, and it stays in their subconscious. The day that they need it, they'll just go there and take it out, and they will use that information. Thank you so much for watching Shantia's Haven today. And remember that we are all here to make a better society, one family at a time. Never forget to leave it better than you made it. See you some other time on Shantia's Haven. Bye-bye.